Alrighty.
Good morning, guys. This is Chris from AM/PM Runs, and today I'm bringing you a review of the New Balance SC Elite version 4. Yes, I know this is last year's model, and we're already on the 5, but I have the 4, so that's what we're talking about today. I packed in a little over 35 miles on these shoes in the time that I've had them, and I have thoughts on them. Most of them are very positive. I actually went out and recommended them to my girlfriend to buy, and she absolutely adores them. She really loves them, and I think they are the perfect race day shoe for a lot of runners. I don't think it's necessarily as aggressive as I would want in a race day, but it's definitely special, and it has its own place in the market, which is why I wanted to talk about it, because I'm pretty sure the version 5 has really gone away from what I think makes this stand out and unique among its peers. So all I want to talk about is it is cushioned and soft. It has nice padding around the heel, and it really takes care of you in a way that most other race day shoes don't, which I think is in a lot of ways its shortcomings, which is why they've obviously tightened it up, made it lighter, shortened the width of the base, and all sorts of other things for the version 5, but I think it takes away a bit of the special area it was in on the market, and I think it's kind of a gap that's sitting there now in the market that the V4 I think really fit into. Now, it's not a perfect shoe. I obviously have a lot of complaints about it, which is why I'm coming in for a review. I wouldn't say a lot of complaints. The foam is fuel cell. This is their race day fuel cell. So it is purely PIBA. It is 40 mil stack in the heel, 36 in the front for a 4mm drop. You can see it doesn't have an aggressive rocker really at all. It's almost flat all the way across, which is nice. Because it keeps it accessible to any and all runners. You're kind of landing on the squish no matter what. Underneath, you can see that we have a pretty wide base design here across. It is wide in the front and in the back. Weight savings was not really a thought here, I don't think, too much. Beyond the cutout in the foam here, which is to let that arc plate compress. The grip on here, you can see they were not sparingly. You've got a lot of rubber. The only exposed foam sections are right here, and then obviously inside of that cavern that they've carved out. The grip has been excellent. I run on a lot of wet concrete, like after fresh rain or directly after somebody's watered their lawn or something, and the sidewalk normally gets quite slippery, but these have had no problems. I've had a couple other shoes kind of wiggle out on me. These, no such thing. They're great. I took them on a nice 4.5 mile run today, and I really like them. So let me get to kind of the negatives after going over some of the specs that we got on here. This tongue, I hate this tongue. I'll throw in some B-roll of the way it looks. It feels absolutely like an afterthought. It is not gusseted. It slides around. It is not padded, so I have to do the runner's loop to avoid lace bite because there's just nothing here. It might as well not exist. It is probably the worst tongue. The Rebel V4 had the exact same tongue, and I hated the tongue. They fixed in the Rebel V5, and I believe the SC Elite V5 has a gusseted and padded tongue, which is nice. I hate this tongue. It is terrible. That is definitely one of the biggest knocks. What I will say is that the laces are a pretty good length. I could do runner's loop without having to kind of fight to get it tight and secure. The back padding is adequate. It's not super luxurious, but it's nicer than a lot of other race days. Like my Adios Pro 4s or the Vaporfly 4s just have absolutely nothing in the heel. So again, it's nice for a carbon plate race day shoe for someone that might not be trying to push it, but they want to be comfortable throughout the duration. Like if you want to finish that race feeling comfortable, your feet, no sore spots, no aches, nothing, this is ideal if you can get over the tongue lace bite. I have tongue lace bite issues with the shoe, but I still love the overall comfort. The squish and bounce back from the midsole here is excellent. It's not in a way that's too springy or not too soft. It is right in the middle where it cushions and bounces you off to keep you going, and it kind of disappears underfoot in the best way possible, where you don't have to think too much about, oh, I'm wearing a race day shoe and it's going to beat me up in some way. The upper here is nice, thin, and airy, but it is weirdly, it's just a very soft, thin kind of vinyl feeling. It has that light race day feel, but the shoe is not light. It's a little over 9 ounces for a men's size 10. I want to say it's like 9.1 ounces, which isn't super heavy. But when you compare it to last year's Adios Pro 4 2, I guess that was this year. But the Adios Pro 4 is like 7 ounces in the size, and then you have all sorts of other competitors. The A6 Metaspeed Ray is in the 4 ounce range, which is obviously a different caliber of shoe, but when this shoe retailed, it was like $260. The Metaspeed Ray is $300, so yeah, it's a little more, but you're dropping 3 ounces, and that is a huge difference on race day. They're definitely for different runners, but I can see why they cut a bunch of the weight for the V5, and I wonder if there was a way they could have cut some of that weight, but kept what made this special and hold its place in the market of being supremely comfortable and cushioned. It's an interesting spot where it's in. It's kind of a conundrum of it wants to be a speedy, comfortable race day shoe, but it's missing some of the pop and magic of a more compromised, less comfortable shoe. So I'd be curious to try the V5 and see what they've changed from this, but as this stands, I really like this shoe. I use it for some of my longer up-tempo work when I want to take care of my feet, but also get up into some faster speeds. I think this is a perfect shoe for someone that wants to finish their race day in a carbon-plated, comfortable, speedy-ish shoe, and you don't mind the little extra weight compared to those racer shoes, and you'd rather trade that for the nice cushion and comfort of these shoes. The lace bite is an issue for me, so it's going to come out in its rating. It mostly is a non-issue after the runner's loop, but some people might not be able to tie that runner's loop with these laces that come with it. You have to swap it, and that's just a lot of those little compromises you have to make to come up with the shortcoming of this awful, awful tongue. I'm going to give these a 7.5 out of 10, and I know that seems kind of low, but it's definitely well above average for like a typical carbon race plated shoe. I really like it, and it's comfortable. I've obviously recommended it to my girlfriend. I think it is a great spot for a lot of runners. I would recommend it to anybody looking to finish that race nice and comfortable, and you don't mind the little extra weight and the compromises with the tongue. That's more of an issue for me. I don't really like the feel of the upper, but I do appreciate the padding, and the foam underneath is really good. There's a liveliness and an accessibility to the shoe that I really like, that I think is missing in a lot of race day shoes, and I like it. It's a good 7.5. I will lace it up, and I will continue to put miles on it. There's just a lot of other shoes for race day I would pick up over it, and that's the problem when this is a race day shoe. So that's where my thoughts lie. I like it, 7.5, and I would recommend it. It gets like a 7.5 with a thumbs up because I do enjoy it. I just think there are more competitive race day shoes, and I think that might be the version 5, but you could probably pick this up on a really nice sale. My girlfriend got hers for, I think, like $140 at a New Balance outlet, and they do all sorts of sales online. For $140, this is a no-brainer steal. It is great. Just keep in mind, it is a little heavier than other race day shoes, and the tongue issue. Otherwise, great shoe. Thanks for watching.